Time to stop worrying about the Porto game and start worrying about getting revenge on Newcastle. Football Dad's Army have just seen the team sheet for tonight's game. So we entertain, we've got a home game for a change. We had a home game for 3 games. We've got a home game for a change against Newcastle. You know, they beat us at St James's Park. We all know what happened there. The controversy, VAR, over the goal they scored. Plenty of different issues with that goal. But, I mean, do we want to get revenge in the same way as making them suffer, making them get a bad VAR decision? I disagree. I want us to beat them fair and square, so there's no, there's no moaning about the decisions. There's no moaning about this, no moaning about that. We was told by not only Newcastle fans, but neutral fans across the board to stop moaning and get over it. So I'm completely over it anyway now. It's ancient history to me. But what is very important to me is that we actually beat Newcastle. We need to get a win back. That performance last night, I'm not going to keep going on about it, against Porto. All right, it was away, it was in Portugal, but it's a different kettle of fish in the Champions League. European football is completely different to the Premier League football, the English football, because I know that it happens in the Premier League. People just dive all the time and fall over, but there was a hell of a lot of that going on from Porto's side of things and from Porto players. The referee kept blowing his whistle, very trigger happy with his whistle, every time someone gets touched. Just slightly touched, but that does happen in Europe. We should have adapted to that. Maybe we should have surrendered the possession, and then try him on the counter. Try and draw them out that way, or try not to make too much physical contact with them, because they will go over. And that's the problem in Europe. You've got to learn how to adapt. You need the experience. I know we played in the Europa League. It's still classed as Europe, obviously. But still, I don't think they've learnt a lot from their mistakes in Europe, because, we had a lot of the ball. We didn't have a shot on target, but they was very resolute with their defence. But, it wasn't a flowing game as such, because as soon as we touched their players, they did seem to go over too easy. There was a point where even their goalkeeper threw himself on the floor. The referee blew for a free kick. It was ridiculous. But let's look forward to the Newcastle game on Saturday. We're at home. I don't think he's going to change anything. I actually do believe he's going to go with the same starting 11. I ain't really got much of a problem with that. Because it's worked in the Premier League the last 5 games before the Porto game, and we won quite comfortably in all them 5 games. Well, I say comfortably. The Nottingham Forest game, one of the games that you would think would be more of a comfortable game, was the most difficult game score-wise, and towards the end of the game we nearly collapsed at the end, and they did get a goal back to make it 2-1, and then they was peppering us. So that was a little bit worrying to me, but we still went on and beat Liverpool, West Ham, and then Burnley. So we've got Newcastle at home. I do fancy us winning. I do fancy us, because it's a different. It's like it's a completely different world. It's like the Premier League to the Champions. It's completely. It don't matter. It doesn't really matter about the performance in Porto when it comes to Saturday in terms of the game, because it's completely different. I mean, the way we try to play against Porto would work in the Premier League. A little bit more physical. So I do fancy us winning. I fancy a 2-0 or a 2-1. Newcastle are a very good team, but they're a bit hit and miss with form. We're in great form, apart from the last game in Europe. But in the Premier League, we're in fantastic form. So I do think we can win and keep the pressure on Man City and Liverpool. Liverpool, by the way, beat Luton yesterday. Yeah, they beat Luton yesterday, and they was 1-0 down at half-time. They come back and scored 4 goals. So, you know, Liverpool know what they're doing. Liverpool ain't going to let off. They're quite relentless. Man City also very relentless, and we're getting to the business end of the season now. So Man City might not lose another game all season, and in that case, they will win the league. We've got to go to the Etihad, so I think Liverpool have got to go there as well. So hopefully both Liverpool and Arsenal can beat Man City to knock them out of the race, and it'll be Liverpool and Arsenal like it was in 1989. So wouldn't it be funny if it was that again, Liverpool and Arsenal, and the goal difference was 2 goals even? You know what I mean? That would be funny. Maybe Liverpool might get and get their revenge on Arsenal after all them years. You never know. But I really do believe that we can beat Newcastle tomorrow. I'm not going to keep, you know, dwelling on the past with the Porto game. We've got them in the next leg pretty soon after that Newcastle game. I'm not sure if it's actually the Tuesday or the Wednesday after, or it's after the Newcastle game, or the Tuesday or Wednesday after that. I'm not 100% sure. I do believe, though, it's next week. I think it is next week, the return. So we can't wait for that, because we've got to show them how we do it in the Premier League, how we do it in England. And hopefully we'll get a referee that won't be so trigger happy with it in blowing the whistle. Do you know what I mean? So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that we're going to either capitulate, or do you think we're going to crack on and beat Newcastle? Let me know what you think, and I'll speak to you soon.